Man, Megaman Battle Network 6 was such a good game. It's such a shame that there's not a follow-up series to these wonderful RPGs that Capcom created. What the fuck? Megaman Starforce is the follow-up series to the Megaman Battle Network games, which were all over the GBA back then. Because Megaman was so cheap to make, they started pumping them out like it was nothing. Although, Starforce got the high expectations mark by being released on the 20th anniversary of Megaman in 2007, which means it has to be good, right? Right? Well, that's what I'm here to figure out, if this game is good and does it live up to my expectations as a fan of these RPGs. Also, how this video will be structured is kind of like a retrospective / review thingy, where when the mechanics of the game come into play, I'll talk about them. But we'll also be talking about the story a lot, so prepare for that as well. Oh, also, why is it that there are 3 gosh damn versions of these games? The Capcom PR just walk into the dev room and say, hey, so Pokemon's making a lot of money doing a 2-game thing, and you know, that's a lot of cash there, so here's an idea. Instead of making 2 games that are just the same game, minimal exclusive content, let's make 3 games with even less exclusive content, and we'll still be able to pay off for the next game for cheap. What do you say, eh, fellas? Wait, what am I talking about? I'm the guy who makes the decision. Silly me. Now get to work. I'll be playing Mega Man Starforce using the DX patch, which basically just combines all the 3 versions of the game into one, and it also adds some things that were removed from the English version of the game. I also hope you know what happens in Battle Network before watching this video, although if you don't, that's fine. With that all said, Mega Man Starforce might be able to compare and differentiate itself from the Battle Network series that it's so acquainted with. Let's talk about Mega Man Starforce. 200 years since Battle Network takes place, which basically means every single person is dead. The world now uses EM waves, which replace the cyber world, and navies are now cards. Now mankind decides we need to find aliens because, well, they're aliens, obviously. So they send out a space station named Peace with a space crew on it, and it disappears. Which they then try searching for until a piece falls into the ocean, and they basically stop searching because they're probably dead. 3 years later, we meet Hope Stellar talking to a guy named Aaron about Hope's husband, Kelvin Stellar, who was on the space station that disappeared. They're reminiscing about him, talking about him, until a boy, who does not look happy at all, walks to the front door and is about to leave when his mom tells him to come introduce himself to Aaron. This is where we meet Gio Stellar, and his mugshot portrait does not look happy at all. Gio is depressed after his father disappeared on the space station 3 years ago. He hasn't been really social with anybody since then, and has even dropped out of school and has to be homeschooled. Gio and Aaron introduce themselves, and after Aaron talks to him about working with Gio's father before he disappeared, he gives him the visualizers, which originally belonged to his dad. Gio thanks him before his mom tells him to turn on his Transer, which is basically just the new PT nowadays, you'll see later. After his mom tells him to open up his Transer only to find out he has no bros, he leaves for Vista Point, where he goes to stare at the stars in hopes of seeing his dad. Gio heads out when he's stopped by 3 kids who walk up to him. Oh hey, look, it's our new stalker friends. Okay, let's see here. We have a fat guy named Bud who clearly loves food. a nerd-looking guy named Zach who needs to be shoved in a locker, and a bossy class president named Luna Platts, whose life mission apparently is to get Gio Stellar to go to school. But anyway, the trio pestered Gio about going to school to get full attendance, but I don't think that's a thing schools care about. Gio bails before they can pester him anymore about it, so Luna decides that there's another way to annoy him by teaching him a tutorial on how to become brothers. Brothers are basically a bond shared by a friend. Gender doesn't matter, by the way. You can exchange cards, mail. You also have a personal page that shows off your favorite battle cards and best combos. There's not really a lot to talk about this feature right now, so we'll touch on this topic later in the video. I guess we're going full alien on this one, you could say. This is Omega-Xis, who is a being made out of EM waves, which humans can't normally see. But when Omega-Xis zapped Gio or something, I don't know, he somehow unlocked the visualizer's ability to see the wave world, which are a bunch of wave roads that hover above the ground. Omega-Xis is from planet FM, so an Femian. But anyhow, he gets Gio's interest after he says his full name, and he says he got it from a person in space, which Gio then realizes is his dad. But before he can get a response from the alien, viruses that followed Omega-Xis here have apparently gotten to a random train that was just there and will run over the town and destroy it or something. But there's no tracks. So how? I'm not even gonna ask. Nope. Whatever. Anyways, Omega-Xis hops into Gio's transit and tells him to find a wave hole, and it's just a jack and port, but who cares? The cyber world, which was for Battle Network, is now replaced by the wave roads of Starforce, and it kind of just makes it look like you're seeing the same stuff, but you're just higher and also out of bounds, which I kind of feel like is off because you don't get any unique looks. For example, Megaman Battle Network had an overworld that you can explore and interact with, while also having another separate world that you can also interact with and explore. But for Starforce, you're just walking up in the air, cruising around circles, rectangles, squares, shapes. It doesn't feel like you're in a new world, you're just in the same world. But anyway, let's talk about the new Megaman design. Gio's Megaman suit design is very cool and I really like it a lot. It has the visor and the hair to differentiate itself from the other Megamans. And I like the earpiece being a lot similar to the Mega Man Zero earpieces where they have sharp edges, I guess you could say. Although my friend calls him a Power Ranger, which now that I think about it, I can kind of see that. Alrighty, time to pulse into the train. That's where the cyber world stuff went to. This one single room. Anyway, time for a tutorial on how to fight in 2D space using chips with coded letters and all that fun stuff. What the hell is this? 3D? Now this is definitely a change in scenery that hasn't been seen in the previous Mega Man RPGs thus far. Quite literally, considering there's now a camera. There are some things that Starforce does to differentiate itself from Battle Network. For one, Battle Network had chips that had code, and they either had to be the same chip or same chip code letter to use multiple of them. Now battle cards, as they are now called, do not need a code or need to match up, they just need to stay in the same column or row. Although gray cards are excluded from this, as they can be used regardless of row or column. They can also be made from when you favor a card, which is very useful for bringing out your most powerful cards whenever you want. There are also star cards, which for some stupid reason were not in the English version of the game, being only exclusive to Japan via a peripheral, but in the DX patch they're added back in, so yay. With a star card, you can go ahead and power up that card, making it way stronger and therefore way deadlier and usefuler. Now, of course, that's not the end of things. Now we need to talk about the field itself. You control Gio on a single row and cannot move anywhere besides that row that you are on. So to complement this, Gio has two abilities that can use at the start of the game. First is the lock-on system, or Mega Attack as it's called. These names are so stupid, I swear. This allows Gio to zip to any enemy and hit them with most battle cards. Second is being the shield or guard, whatever you want to call it. It allows Gio to block most attacks, although as we can see later on, not all attacks can be avoidable, like stuff that rams you. But other than that, this is really it, because even though later there will be more transformations, and there are more equipable items on the wave rows that allow you to change your buster attack, charge, or effect of it, I really wish we could have added extra abilities to the guard or anything, which are pretty standard all by itself. I would really like to see something from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom where you can parry an attack if you time it correctly, therefore stunning the enemy, but the punishment is that you lose 2 times the health that you would normally lose. But that's just some speculation though. Now back to the main story. After dealing with that incident, Gio goes back home to go get some Z's. The next morning, Hope wakes up her son to tell him that she's going to her part-time job before asking him to try at least to go to school before leaving. After waking up, Omega-Xis asks Gio why he doesn't go to school, with Gio replying that he doesn't really socialize with people due to them not have gone what he had gone through after he lost his father. Omega-Xis though is having none of it and forces Gio to go outside, where they then proceed to invade everybody's privacy, buy some stuff, and then do some more invading privacy, because that's something a 10-year-old boy should be totally doing. What do you trio of freaking stalkers want? Luna with her 2 standing statues instantly scold Gio again for not coming to school. Then Bud starts to gang up on Gio before Omega-Xis decides he apparently got some new Street Fighter moves to use on Bud. Now, Omega-Xis, that was the perfect amount. A short time later, Luna proceeds to scold Bud for being weak, and this scene in the game just makes Luna look like a terrible person in general when you start the game. If you met this person right now, at this point in the story, you'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be friends with this person. She even threatens to cut off his brother band before walking off with Zack, who has a smidge of concern before walking off with Luna. Bud, all on that Vista point, is ashamed about Luna scolding at him for threats earlier, until... Hey, Bud, don't worry about it. Pork chops taste the best, man. Anyway, this is Taurus. Yes, every single boss is based on the constellations. I guess that's why you could call it Megaman Starforce. Taurus was sent to Bud via his, what is this? Loneliness wave? Well, let's just say, that's what happens when humans get sad. He says that if Bud allows him to merge, he'll be able to get the power to have Luna respect him. Which Bud does for some reason. Cutting back to Gio, he's a bit upset that Omega-Xis just decided to uppercut the poor guy, but decides to just brush it off and get some sleep. The game cuts to 3 days later, with Gio watching a report of a ruckus happening in the morning of that day. Before going up to Vista Point, Gio has a very bad feeling apparently that something's going to happen, and boy howdy will he be right. Do I really need to teach you again about the... I don't think a role model does what I just saw about 15 seconds ago. Yeah, 911. There's like 3 kids driving a truck outside and probably don't have a driver's license. After somehow running faster than a motor vehicle, Gio and Omega-Xis get the brilliant idea in order to stop the truck without anybody getting hurt at all. By running a car into it. Which is surely safe and responsible, totally. Let's just jump into the truck. Literally and physically. This is the truck comp, and the first dungeon. It's filled with the tires, it's filled with speedometers, and it's filled with the best. In the comp, you have to find keys to unlock the door. Said keys are in these speedometer thingies, so get the key, boom up pow, open the door. Now, Starforce, again, takes some things from Battle Network, being gimmicks in their dungeons, which either keeps things fresh, or is just hecking annoying, i.e. I hate Battle Network 1 and 5. Now, this time we have Cow. There are these bulls that you must ride on to get to a different area of the comp. Now just make sure you don't fall off. You have to touch these icons to make sure you don't fall off. Or in the case of DX, there are now these optional D-pad or control stick inputs for the icons themselves. Now, of course, it's a DS game. You gotta make use of that touchscreen. What do you expect? Now, this isn't a very bad first dungeon. In fact, I really like it actually. Just keep watch of your health because you might die later on due to the virus battles if you fall off too much. Anyways, where's that boss? This is Taurus Fire, and he's the first boss of the game. Now, of course, being the first boss, he's pretty easy, but he sets the foundation for what the other bosses will be showing you later on in the game. He has slow moves that you can easily dodge, a ram attack, and a fire breathing attack, which really is good about teaching you how to use the guard, as he covers your row in flames, which is great because I didn't use it. Back when I recorded this game, I decided to go ahead and not use it because I forgot which button it is and thought, it's not that big a deal, who needs the guard? A certain boss later on will make me regret my decisions. Before leaving, Luna wakes up and asks the blue mysterious hero what his name is, which he responds with Megaman. Anyhow, Luna and Bud are somehow on good terms again, and everyone involved goes home for the day. A few days pass by and we go to Gio, who's just at Vista Point looking at the clouds, when all of a sudden, a strange bird starts falling out of the sky. Oh, who am I kidding? The person who just crashed is a guy named Tom Dubious, which sounds more like a villain name, but hey, don't judge a book by its cover. Tom was testing out his new invention called the Flap Pack, and as we all know, that didn't go too well. Gio tries to check it out, but Tom stops him, stating that he doesn't like to show off his inventions to other people. Oh well, nothing important I gotta deal with. Gio just leaves, and after being a good person, helping some kids get a ball stuck out of a tree, Gio then runs into Aaron, who knows Tom because he employed Tom at a place called a Mockin, and he invites Gio to come over the next day, which Gio agrees to. Later that same night, before closing a Mockin, Aaron walks up to Tom and asks about creating a brother band, which Tom agrees to, although hesitantly, but I'm sure we can move on to the next day. Bird up! This weird looking bird thing is Cygnus, who really loves spouting about betrayal stuff. Cygnus, after hearing Tom's backstory, tells him that essence is the betrayal of society or whatever, but we got more important things to do than listen to alien swans talk about that. The next morning, Gio heads to Amaken, which was founded by Aaron after the disappearance of Kelvin and the space station. This place is pretty cool. It's got a whole lot of space things and trivia. It's kind of like a museum. It's even got a pretty nice catchy song to it. Man, Aaron, this place is great! Not anymore! Can I get a restraining order? After Gio and his technically not yet stalker friends tour the area, seeing all the things being on display, Aaron allows the kids to explore his lab upstairs. While they're all in there, unbeknownst to anybody, Tom is hidden in the corner of the room listening, until he mishears Aaron say something about a pack, and thinks he's talking about his flat pack invention, and leaves before Aaron explains to Zach that's actually a rocket booster pack. The group are then taken into a space simulator with planets and even getting to wear an astronaut suit. Another fact is that there's also no air in here, so they have to wear oxygen tanks. So if you were to be in here for a certain amount of time with a limited amount of air, since everyone is trying to apply for a dance job in space, they're gonna run out of air soon, so we should probably do something about that. After rebuilding a wave road, Gio pulses into the comp to stop the evil Birdman. Here in the second dungeon, the space comp, we have the Quacky Lackeys. Am I reading that correctly? Alrighty, well, since Omega-Xis decided to piss them off, they decided to show off the gimmick, like, good evil things, cause they're evil. There are these shooting stars that fall out of the sky, and you must dodge them or lose 10 HP, which doesn't sound like a lot unless you're a freaking idiot like me who constantly gets hit by attacks or rushing past the stars. Anyway, once you pass that hurdle, you have to go shoot these rockets up at the flying bastards to unlock the way. After that, go confront evil Swan Dude.
It looks familiar. It's not a dream after all.
Cygnus Wing is our second boss of the game, and he's pretty good for a second boss. He's got a feather attack from a long range, he has a spinning attack, and he can even send out his ducks from thin air. I think this battle focuses more on your positioning rather than your abilities, but there's not a lot to say about the guy that flies, so... The day is saved, Cygnus is dead, and Tom is restored to normal. And everybody just goes home for the day, like all the time. Hey now, so we're gonna get to the react part of the video now. Basically, it was while I was streaming these games on YouTube, I recorded these reactions with my friend John, who is unrelated to anybody on this platform, he's just my friend. So, I totally didn't force him to just react to a couple of my streams with me. We had a whole lot of fun doing it, so I thank him enough for going ahead and dealing with me and my stupid Megaman stream VODs, as he doesn't really have any interest in Megaman at all. But he's still stuck around, so I thank him a lot for that. Now for if we are reacting, the react word will appear on the top left of the screen, basically saying that we're using the react version of the video. But enough of the intermission, let's get on with the story. Let's start the day off with Omega-Xis being gone. Great, I think this doorbell gets rung like 10 different times in this game, so you can tell they really like doorbells. Who the heck is this? Bob Copper. Yeah, this guy kind of just feels pointless in this game. He's what I like to call a filler character, and also maybe because he's used as gameplay filler later. Anyway, old man cop over here is checking for Z-waves. You know, the things that EM beings make. But Mega's not in our transit right now, so we're good. Gio sends the man on his merry way so we can go find Omega-Xis. Why do I feel like we'll be seeing that person again? Omega-Xis, we have bigger problems than shipping right now. Seems like the po-po's in the neighborhood. Well, I guess it's time for some friendly neighborhood violence. Yep, totally not gonna get me multiple charges on that one. Transition sentence the next day, and Gio is, again, answering the door in the morning. But this time, instead of the boys in red and blue, it's a guy in a purple suit who looks way too similar to Wario. He keeps on spouting about some girl named Sonia, a famous singer apparently. Gio doesn't know who the person is, mainly because, you know, the boy doesn't go outside much anyways. After giving the Wario lookalike the boot, we get a thing from the help radar. It's basically just a thing that tracks somebody down, not very important. I don't know about y'all, but all I see is Tom's the train. Oh, there she is. This is Sonia Strumm, who, as we now know, is a very famous pop star who is on the run from her manager, stating that he only wants her to sing so he can get rich. She trusts Gio enough to ask him to hide her somewhere, which Gio complies, even though Mega keeps on shipping the two. Gio brings the pop star to a mock-in despite nobody seeing them on the trip, where Aaron agrees to have her stay for a bit. He even suggests that Gio and Sonia become brothers, but Gio still doesn't want to, so Aaron just says to think about it before Gio walks off. It's a good thing I forgot to record this scene, so let's move on. Man, I wonder how this guy saw them on the roof. It's not like if you're walking in the area you can see them on top. But even so, how did he even get up there? Did you just like freaking bribe the person working at the desk to get up there? Or did you just freaking jump over the security gate? Because that's the only two reasons I can really think of.
Dang! Oh my god. He got smacked. Oh my god. Bro gave him the personal smack. Backhand right head to the face. Bro got on bro's knees.
In this situation, if I was Aaron, I would proceed to throw hands with the manager because from what I can tell, he's just staring there not giving a frick. But then again, that's what happens when this game is ready to eat for everyone. There is no way I am seeing a harp with freaking arms, eyes, and a mouth. Well, we all seen that one coming.
Know your fucking place, trash.
Oh yeah, you also deserve that one. Did she just jump 2 frames per second there? Well, whatever. We have to go after her now. That's strange. She doesn't have her own dungeon. Well, this will be easy then. Oh, this is the gimmick. You shoot the notes. As a person who is currently in choir right now at the time of recording, this will be a breeze, I'll tell you that for a fact. The two play a game of cat and mouse until she decides to go full on Sonic Riders and use her personalized extreme gear to fly off. Gosh damn it, dude. No wonder why she didn't want us to follow her. This part freaking sucks. I probably was here for about 30 minutes and had to take a break because of it. So I think I now have phobia for these sounds. Yeah, this perfectly sums up the entire fight. Hey, can you like design your dungeon better? I'm kinda trash at this game. This is Harp Note, and the third boss of the game. She mainly uses her guitar to attack if it wasn't apparent enough already. Since I am a choir geek, I'm just gonna say a bunch of music terms while I talk about her. She fires off eighth notes from her two speakers. She has her pulse song attack, which her crescendo goes up way too much. And this is where I learned I should probably use the guard technique. Finally, she has machine gun string that fires a string and shocks you with notes. Which I'm very disappointed that she didn't pull out an M240 machine gun and shoot at him, because that'd be very cool. But other than that, she's a pretty good boss for the midway point of the game, testing not only your reactions, but also your positioning and guarding, which I suck at. And just in general, she's very fast, so it'll be tough to get shot on her even with lock on. I'm just gonna say it now, there will be a boss that I'll be comparing to Harp Note later on, and that's because that said boss is basically Harp Note but downgraded. But anyway, time to pull that plug on that music. Alright, time to talk about the other ability of being brothers. Being brothers allows you to have abilities from said brother. I think I'll allow my friend John to explain this. I think he explains it very well.
Hey Gio, I'm glad we could be brothers. My link abilities are first barrier and undershirt. Undershirt. Underwear. Okay, blah blah blah. Barrier. As for undershirt, as long as you have at least 2 HPs. A hit that would normally take you down to 0 will only take you down to 1 HP instead.
Thanks, John. Couldn't have said it better myself. You also have brother cards, which can create a roulette of that person's favorite cards, so you can use one of them in battle. Now back to the story. Finally, we got one bro, let's go. We have friends! After Sonia leaves, Gio's pendant starts glowing mysteriously, so he goes to ask his mom about the thing, and she doesn't know at all. So instead, he goes ask Aaron. Luna apparently somehow guilt trips Gio into going into the school play based on the events of the Taurus Fire fight, because Luna is now obsessed with the blue boy even though she's standing right next to him. Since he had the balls to step inside the school, surely this play must have the high quality production values of using the Megaman Starforce complete work sketches to create great costumes and great props. You see, this is why I don't go to plays anymore after my 2nd grade field trip. While Gio is looking at the top 10 worst plays ever, he spots a jammer on top of the wave road and pulses in to go after it. Well, time to beat up this creep, and it's an unwinnable fight. This is Pat Spriggs, one of Gio's classmates, who I swear looked like he had headphones on him, but I guess he doesn't. After introducing himself, he walks off somewhere. Oh, also, this place has a cafe. After getting out of theater meet and greet, Gio finally heads to a Makin, where Aaron figures out that the pendant is actually a transmitter, which reacts when brother bands are formed. Gio heads to the roof to get a better signal of whatever was receiving it. Hey guys, look, it's magical animal beings. These 3 mysterious dudes are Ice Pegasus, Leo Kingdom, and Dragon Sky. These are also the guys that orbit the 3 big satellites that are around the Earth. They have come to Gio due to his new friend forming a brother band with him. The 3 then put a test to Gio to go fight 3 Star Guardians, which basically just means go fight 5 virus battles. After doing that stupidly easy thing, the 3 now decide to test Gio's strength in this final test against the horse guy. Man, Ice Pegasus is underwhelming. Just like those star trials they gave me. Let me keep it straight. Ice Pegasus only rams at you and throws ice chunks at you. That's literally it. This fight was easier than it was to type out this sentence. Finally, we have gained a new power, the Starforce. That we can't use yet because we have to protect somebody. Woohoo, yay! The next morning, Gio finally cracks and says he wants to go to school. After doing school things and theater club and, oh right, I forgot to talk about the teacher dude. His name is Mr. Shepar. I bring him up because after school, when everyone is gone and Shepard is about to leave for the day, the principal walks up to him, saying that he needs to talk to him about some stuff before they go into a different room. Mr. NPC Color Palette Change is very annoyed that Shepard is using ideals rather than studying in the school, saying that the school needs to be top-notch A's across the board. He then shows off a old guy VR hologrammy thing. The study wave, as it is called, has been used to send information to students' brains via waves. It has been used across all the classrooms except Shepard's, and the principal points out that his class's scores are lacking behind the others. He then threatens Shepard, saying that if he doesn't use the study wave, he'll be fired before leaving the room. Shepard is uncertain about this dilemma. On one hand, he wants his students to be happy, but on the other hand, he has to support his 7 kids. 7 kids! I'm sorry, but I don't think a teacher's salary can support 7 kids. So I think this universe's teacher pay salary must be like, what, $1,000 an hour? Let me just search up what the teacher salary is in Japan. Actually, let's just move on and act like I don't know how salaries work, because I'm too lazy. But then again, why make choices when you can just have a talking scale do it for you? It's the next day, and Teach ain't doing so well, and he decides to use the study wave. Although, whoever made the study wave should get sued immediately, because everyone is screaming in pain and agony. Oh, also, Shepard turns into a freaking scale. That is one of the worst designs out of all in the game. Because Mega is with Gio, he can easily get him out of torture. But strangely, Pat can also get up. I'm guessing it just doesn't work for him. But then, once Gio pulses into a wave hole in a different room, he finds that Pat is mysteriously gone from the classroom now. Oh, well, we'll just have to wait because that big jammer is back. Hey guys, look, it's the subtitle for the game. Anyway, time to explain the Starforce to my audience of 100 or 200 something people who watch my videos. The Starforce is activated by using the unique card or having a brother card to select that Starforce form. So for Ice Pegasus, you have to select Sonia's brother card for it. Ice Pegasus is a form I have a love and hate relationship with. The form lets Gio have an Ice/Aqua charge shot, which can freeze enemies. It can also allow him to lock onto enemies automatically and be invisible while using Mega attacks, which I still think is a terrible name. The form also lets you do an area-wide move thing, which is around 250 damage. You can get it by countering an enemy, which then they'll freeze for a few seconds, which then the card gets added and then you'll be able to use the move. Now, what I hate about this thing is the movement buff, as if you're trying to dodge attacks that are coming at you, it could have you mess up and accidentally somehow, I don't know, kill yourself. But more on that later. After dispatching the big grabber, Gio pulses into the study wave to stop the study wave. I thought it'd be funny if I leave that typo there, maybe. I don't know. This is the study wave comp. 4th dungeon, let's get to it. This comp space houses these nerd professor graduate looking dudes, which make these papers that make you answer questions. Some of them you just have to flat out guess because they can't pull out a calculator in 0.2 seconds. Other than that, it's just a Starforce dungeon, but I like the aesthetic. It's really rocking that school vibe. Not to say that I miss school, I don't at all. Look for certain things in here. Anyways, time for boss.
I just get flashbang. Why?
You're fighting a freaking scale.
No. Go back like 10 seconds. Did you see how they zoomed into bro's face? Like, bro, why they gotta zoom on bro's face like that? Yeah. Yeah, this is the fight, rat. When they were drawing this, I did not know how they thought this was good. This guy looks like squiggly lines. This looks like your hairline.
Libra Scales is now the second boss in a row to be underwhelming for being halfway over the game. Alright, let's get this over with now because there's literally nothing with this guy. Libra has water and fire that he fires at your back row, has a spin attack, and tries to impale you with spiky pillars. This guy is way too easy, I swear. I had a harder time with Harp Note than this guy. They both try to test their skills after you've gotten used to the game. But Harp Note is like way more faster than Libra Scales, as it feels like with Libra Scales, you're just like waiting for him to do stuff. Well, with Harp Note, you're like, yo, you just guarded that pulse song? Great job, man, that's amazing. This is why I kind of feel like that he's just an underwhelming boss. If he was just like a little bit faster, he could have been on that same level. Hey, let's check back on our guy Libra Scale. Oh, wait a minute, he's dead. With Libra defeated, Mr. Shepard returns to normal, and while he does leave the school shortly, he does return due to the students relentlessly bullying the principal. Anyway, after an unspecified amount of time, I don't know, I'm not gonna go check, we're back at school and Gio's just packing up for the day when all of the sudden... It's another jammer. You know what? Let's go up there and get this guy to switch. You gotta be kidding me. Oh no, Luna's in trouble. Whatever shall I do?
Playtime's over. Hold up. How far will you go for that girl? I will go to infinity and beyond. I'll do anything. Ah.
Oh, thanks, Sonia. Oh, right, that guy. After that debacle, Gio takes Luna home and she reveals that she actually is home alone a lot due to the fact that her parents are at work and way too busy way too often. After leaving Luna, we can go back to our pop star friend who then proceeds to ask us to go to the mall that Sunday. Oh hey folks, gather around, it's time for evil parents time. Luna's parents think that because she's getting into a lot of incidents lately at school, they think that their daughter needs to go to a strict private school with absolutely no socializing. When the main point of school is socializing, in my opinion, as a person who, you know, is in school.
No, we will move her to a strict boarding school and sign her up for the Libra. She's sending her to jail. That's what they trying to say. Yes, I give her the best education, and she'd be hired by the best corporation. This is the really best. I'm gonna shoot you. Really is the best route to happiness.
That's what you like to call you're delusional.
Like, bro, that's like saying is so happy to work a 9 to 5 at McDonald's.
This is also the point where I start to realize that Luna kind of cares more about the people who she hangs out with now, as before she has to leave the school forever, she calls Bud and Zach and see if they want to hang out. This makes me think that she has now put down the whole threatening thing and started treating them like, you know, actual people. But to no avail, they're both busy. She might as well do the next best thing, which is called stalking people, especially ones with red sweaters. I'm starting to remember why I like Sonia over Luna now. After meeting up with Sonia and just walking around the Macy's ripoff while Luna quietly stalks them, being honest, I think she should really try out for the new Metal Gear Solid remake. She definitely got skills in sneaking. I bet you she could sneak through Shadow Moses Island, $10 on it. Back to Gio and Sonia, the pair walk up into a subtropical forest snake exhibit, which is also a place that Luna's parents own apparently. Oh. Luna's parents, mainly the dad, decides to do the evil monologue thing where they talk about moving Luna to a new school and all that monologue stuff. After that, which Luna runs off. That's probably not a bad thing, right? Oh, well, I guess. Being honest, I should really leave them here to die, but of course we have to save them.
Humphrey, What
Yeah, what
in the
the
world
fuck?
is that thing? Oh, that's Luna?
Yeah. John.
Well.
John.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Bro, I'm not that crazy.
I
I'm
will
not that
animate
crazy.
myself coming to your house and shooting you live in video 4K. I don't care.
I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad.
I mean, I don't really blame John for thinking that way. In the complete works, they literally say that they tried to give her a sexy vibe. Oh, well, I guess now we have a legitimate reason for stopping her. Let's go get her. It's 5th dungeon time. Alright, what we got this time? These little child lookalikes, I forgot their name. Oh, right, their names are Hertz. They've been poisoned by a snake lady. I wonder who that is. So go find the antidote for them. Although, once you find said antidote, snakes will start to appear out of leaves to attack you. And if you get hit, you get poisoned. It's not really a big deal, but this gimmick does try to juke you a bit, so it's actually a pretty good dungeon in my book. I can't still believe I somehow got tricked sometimes there. Okay, so basically, when you
Use
get
your
a
brother
brother
powered
card,
and
yeah,
transform.
so basically when you get brother in a roulette and a Starforce, you pick roulette, right? See, I'm on low health, so see, that's great. That saved me from dying. See, so being brothers has benefits.
Never
didn't think
say
about
that
that.
sentence ever again in your life. Being brothers have been totally good sentence, bro. You better leave that into your video.
Being honest, this video should have just been called 2 Gen Z kids react to Megaman Starforce. Queen Ophiuca is a much needed difficulty spike compared to Libra Scale. She is one of, if not the most hardest bosses in my opinion. Alright, now remember why I said I had that problem with Ice Pegasus form, where it was way too fast for me to control, which led me to get hit in some cases. Yeah, that applies to here too. I kept on running into her snakes as she pops out into existence and I actually died. Back to abilities, she also has her stupid Gorgon Eye. What the heck is even a Gorgon? Oh, I see now. It's just a huge paralyzing laser. Finally, she tries to tackle you in a straight line. I think the part that makes her the most challenging was the snakes, but after I finished the game, oh boy, I was completely mad at myself for not thinking about this. While I was doing my second playthrough of the game, although I wasn't at Queen Ophiuca yet, I was scrolling around YouTube when I found this post talking about Starforce, and it showed Megaman guarding the snakes. I was flabbergasted. Oh my gosh. You're saying like I could have made this fight way easier if I just guarded? Man, I'm actually so stupid. But even with that advantage in mind, she's still a very hard boss at the end of the day. Better than a flipping scale of all things. This Gemini guy might be a problem later on. After that, the comp space starts to break down, but Luna holds on to Gio before he can pulse out, so, Shocker, shocker. Gosh, I'm reading. Whoa, who could have guessed that Gio was Megaman? What a shocker, when he clearly disappears before every single time that there's trouble and clearly has the same hairstyle. After that shocking revelation, Luna becomes Gio's second bro. Luna gives us access to float shoes, a handy ability that makes floor panels not a problem. Because they weren't even a problem to begin with. There are literally no floor panels that go on Gio's side of the field, so this is pretty useless. Well, I guess that was a long day. I wonder what the next chapter is about. The next day, after school, again, Gio gets a call from a mysterious person telling him to go to Times Square. Once he gets there, he finds out that everybody is just being an asshole to each other. The reason is because of these positive and negative orbs that are appearing on people that make them, you know, an a-hole. So he goes to find the person responsible, and boy, don't you look suspect. After defeating the green bastard, Gio gets a call again from the person that did all this, and when Gio asks for the name of the person, they respond with Ray before hanging up. Looks like I have to keep an eye out for them. After that, Gio then gets another call from Dragon Sky because he created a new brother band with Luna. That means he can now gain a new form by defeating Dragon Sky. This guy is the same as his freaking horse buddy. He only has 2 attacks, and the only difference being that he's harder to hit. Yeah, no thanks. Green Dragon form is like Falzar Beast Megaman from Battle Network 6, where your charge shot has better range in the column that you fire in, while the other 2 columns have a shorter ranged version of the attack. It also lets you regain HP when you guard, but I didn't test this until my second playthrough. It's pretty useful though, I'll tell you that for a fact. Finally, it has the same elemental screen-wide nuke thing, except you turn into a Beyblade now. This form is pretty good with its guard healing, and I actually really like the design a lot. It's probably the best one out of all of them. But I still didn't use this form a lot, as I thought that the auto target that Pegasus had was really better in my opinion. Although, again, guard healing is very good for situations where the bosses use their area-wide move attacks that you have to block so you can heal up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But while I'm on the subject of not talking about the story, let's take a detour. In the front of the subtropical zone, that sounds like a frickin' Sonic the Hedgehog stage, I just realized that. There's a guy named Damien Wolfe. He's a gardener who somehow got an Ephemian into him named Wolf. He wants Gio to help him calm himself down by battling him. So, you go to the wave road in there to fight him. This is Wolf Woods. He has an uppercut slash and a wide slash that can possibly take up your side of the field. He also has these smaller wolves that can attack you, but you can kill them before they jump you. Now, the gimmick for Wolf is that there's a full moon behind some PNG cloud sprites. If there is a full moon out, Wolf will go berserk, as it is called, and will attack and move faster. Pretty good boss fight, and it kinda keeps you on your toes since he's really fast, but you can still react to his up-close attacks, but still not up to the level of Heart Note, where I can't even react to a freaking pulse song in a 10-frame window.
Got him.
You're a bozo. Back to the main story, Pat invites Gio to hang out with him for a bit in Times Square, and he offers to show Gio a place called Dream Island, which sounds more like a Kirby level, if anything, but whatever. Dream Island is kind of what the name implies, which is a man-made island that has a beautiful park and a pretty garden. Almost like a dream. Pat and Gio talk about themselves a bit more, and Pat, again, offers to show Gio another nearby place for him to talk about himself.
What the hell is this?
This is a complete 180 from the last area. This is, I guess, a dream, as Dream Island is like perfection. You can create anything in your dreams, so they'll be perfect. The grassy green gardens and the park, it's perfect. But then you go to the city dump, it's kind of like reality, where everything is not perfect. At least that's how I see it. After Pat reveals his backstory, Gio turns to leave, but gets trapped by a bunch of sorter bots and has to wave change to escape. But Pat's not there anymore when he looks back. Weird. Gio finds who's responsible, being Gemini, this two-mask Ephemian, what do you want me to call him? He's the right hand to the FM King, you know, the guy that wants the Andromeda key. He leaves, but not before mentioning that his partner is Ray, and challenges us to find out who he is before leaving. After pulsing out, Gio sees Pat again after the incident, even though we didn't see him when the problem started. Before leaving, Gio asks Pat if he wants to become brothers, although Pat is hesitant about it, stating that he has a secret that will make Gio hate him. He asks Gio to give himself one day to think about it before Gio leaves. The next day, Pat gives Gio a call stating that he's made his mind and he wants to become brothers now. Great, I could always use a third bro. Alright, yeah, something's definitely up with Pat. What is it? Thanks, Gemini, but I'm the host of the show. I'll take it from here. As Gemini says, Pat suffers from personality disorder because of his past. One personality is our kind and shy friend who would never hurt a single soul. And the other being a revenge-filled, angry asshole named Ray. Ray was born due to the hatred of his parents that abandoned him. Well, one of those personalities belongs in the trash. Ray and Pat wave change with Gemini, which they then spread even more of the orbs from last time. Ray challenges Gio to stop them at the junkyard before leaving. After a short walk there, Gio pulses into the comps to stop the two. We're at the second to last dungeon, which means we're nearing the end of the game. This trash dump has hurts, but you know, they're stuck with the trash. This is what happens when you try to create a ripoff of a character. They're deep in the heaps of the trash and you gotta dig them up. The guide at the start will give you a hint for where each one is. There's a sensor that indicates if you're close to it, but it's kind of boring, with a huge asterisk next to it. Now sure, constantly pressing A in an area isn't that bad, but there's so much space that I couldn't find any of them and ended up just going back in circles and having to fight viruses. Not to mention the bulldozers that just set me back to square one to make me do even more virus battles over and over again. Also, why is Tom Nook in my freaking game and why is he a battle card? Gemini Spark is a unique guy, or should I say two unique guys. The hitch is that Ray is the only one that has a health bar, so he's the only one that can take damage, while Pat is more or less a decoy, but can still attack. You gotta time your cards right, otherwise you just hit the guy that doesn't give a frick. Both Geminis can use their Rocket Knuckles and Elect Sword, and they can both combine together to do Gemini Thunder. I didn't really hate the fight, in fact I really liked the two guys on the field thing. I just really wish they would act a bit more defensively, like Pat shielding for Ray so he doesn't take damage, and then attacks you because he just got left wide open. But at the end of the day, it's a pretty good boss fight. After defeating and killing Gemini, Pat wakes up and says to Gio that he can't see him anymore as it would be too painful to see him after what happened before leaving. A week has passed since the Gemini incident, and Gio is depressed again. After sulking for a few moments, Omega-Xis has finally had enough of his wailing and up and at him leaves. After that, Gio's friends decide to confront him about his newly come back depression, or that's what I would say if... The next day, after flipping off his friends, Gio is alone in his room when Aaron emails him saying to come over to his lab. There, he learns that Peace, the space station his dad was on, is getting closer to Earth, and the FM King, you know, the villain, is basically saying you're screwed. After the broadcast transmission ends, Mr. Old Police Guy comes back into the fray, stating that it's also emitting enormously high amounts of Z-waves. So much so that the wave world is starting to become visible to the naked eye, even without a visualizer. There are also now giant wave balls that start appearing out of nowhere, sucking up people. Thankfully, Bob Copper has a gun to save us from turning into waves, so thanks I guess. Still a useless character. After everyone leaves, Gio goes to check on his mom, who is at Times Square at the moment. Sorry, I have to get a snack. Let me be right back. Alright, I'm back. Some good cereal. How's Gio doing? Oh, sorry. We all gone for a bit too long. After saving him, the admins told Gio to... Oh, hold on for a second. That's better. Tell Gio to find Omega-Xis and give him 3 Giga cards. Oh my gosh. Sure. Thanks, man. Does this even happen in the OG game? Because I don't think it does. The revived Ephemians steal the key before Gio can get there and leave behind a 2G jammer to attack Gio. How about you 2Gs these? Gio then apologizes to Sonia, does the same with Luna, and makes a new brother band with Bud, so that's pretty neat. We then run around for a bit because we need filler content for the story. While doing said quest, Gio gets another call from the 3rd satellite admin asking for a... Now, you might be thinking I have something to say about Fire Leo form, but I don't. After finishing the quest, an old man gives them the location to a hidden part of Peace that will be needed to transmit Gio up to the station to stop it. Gio finds the piece of the space station beneath the trash heap, and soon after, Aaron follows suit, saying that he can fix the thing. But Gemini appears ready to destroy the thing. And also somehow an EM wave human form, don't ask. Oh, also Pat's here.
See you later, idiot.
Once Pat is taken to help, Aaron offers to repair the part of the station so Gio can teleport up there and put a stop to the FM King. But for now, Gio goes back home to prepare for tomorrow. After saying goodbye to his mom and his friends, Gio heads up to the space station to confront the FM King. This is the space station Peace, and it's the final dungeon of the game. Each of the 4 sections of the station's doors are locked off by the dungeon inside of them. Once pulsing in, each has a picture of a constellation in space. Now you could be an actual person and go around and try to figure out the pattern, or you could just search it up like me being a lazy bum. At the end of each room is... Oh hey, look guys, it's everyone's favorite thing to do in a Megaman game! A boss rush! While going about the space station, Gio stumbles upon a room that has a picture of him and his mom. Omega-Xis explains to Gio that this is where he first met Gio's dad, and since the blue armored alien was going to tell Gio about his dad anyways, he does now. 3 years ago, after the humans aboard Peace were captured, they were put on trial where they were sentenced to death. The day before their execution, Kelvin, who was one of the crew on board, got to talk to the guard who was watching him, Omega-Xis. Omega-Xis, who had been planning on stealing the Andromeda key, was about to leave to escape when Kelvin stopped him and asked Omega-Xis if he can transform him and the rest of his crew into waves, and through an access server from his transfer to his sons, they could get back to Earth, which Omega-Xis agrees to. Unfortunately, just when they were about to escape, Taurus spotted them and attacked, with everyone in their waveform scattering into space. Omega-Xis, badly wounded and hurt, decides to follow the signal that Kelvin's transfer was transmitting to, and then the rest of the game takes place. Also, did I forget a boss? There we go. This guy right here is King Cepheus, the ruler of planet FM. He doesn't give a damn no matter how many times Gio tries to get through to him that planet Earth is not trying to invade him. Although before the fight is about to start, Omega-Xis reveals that he's actually an AMian, a survivor of planet AM. Planet AM was one of the neighbors of FM, and it got absolutely obliterated by FM when they used Andromeda. Omega-Xis somehow escaped the planet's demise and hid as one of Cepheus' own soldiers before he stole the Andromeda key. This explains why he was able to use the satellite admin's powers with Gio, as he is also one of them. He states to Gio that if he doesn't stop Cepheus, Earth will end up just like his home planet AM. This is Andromeda, and it's the final boss of Megaman Starforce. This thing is, actually, I don't even know what it is. Also, that artwork of it is horrifying. I wouldn't be able to go to sleep for a while if that was in my nightmares. Andromeda has 2,500 HP, It can shoot down meteors, has missiles, and can chomp the arena. Wait, that's it? Dang, if this is it, then this boss fight is very underwhelming. Andromeda's second form is pretty much the same as his first form, except that his slam attack is now a different animation, and a huge laser beam that comes from his hand because we need more of that apparently. Oh yeah, you can only hit him when the orb in the center glows green. Andromeda is a huge letdown for me in terms of sheer things he can do. I feel like that this isn't even a second form with his attacks, as all is new that is he has his hand laser beam, and that's pretty easy to dodge. Don't get me wrong, Andromeda is still a pretty hard boss. I beat him on my third attempt, but it kind of made me feel like that enough wasn't happening. So at the end of the day, Andromeda is an okay boss. But I feel like this is the case because most Battle Network bosses have the same thing with their attacks, but in exchange, they have super fast attacks like Andromeda. Plus, if these bosses had more attacks, it would get pretty convoluted and confusing to the player on how to dodge them all. But I just wish that the second phase had different attacks since they're using 3Ds and not needing to create sprite elements for the attacks. So the boss has 3 simple attacks, but those 3 attacks do a lot, so I don't really hate it at all.
Got him.
After using the power of his bonds to finally destroy Andromeda, and with Cepheus' super planetary weapon now destroyed, Gio confronts the king and Cepheus spills his backstory. When Cepheus was crowned king on planet FM, everyone tried to take his crown, from his associates to his own siblings. He was on constant threat of getting assassinated to the point where he believed that everyone was a threat to him. Gemini, who knew about Cepheus' paranoid behavior, came to him, lying about Planet AM coming to destroy them, which was the neighboring planet to FM. They also signed to becoming friends a year before Cepheus destroyed the planet. Now that all has been said, Gio decides not to kill the king and offers to become his first friend, which the king accepts. He says that he will try to rebuild Planet AM, and with the help of the satellite admins who say there are still some AM survivors. They go off somewhere. Now, I don't know how you would rebuild a planet, but go do your DIY project. You do you. After they leave, Gio prepares to go back to the wave hole that he came in through, when suddenly, the part of the space station starts to explode with the wave hole. With nowhere to go, Gio goes to the emergency escape pod and manages to get out, but the explosion from the space station knocks him off course, floating in space. A while passes and Gio wakes up with Omega-Xis, but the explosion from the station destroyed the autopilot system on the escape pod, so now they're just stuck. But all is not lost at the end. Thanks to Gio's friends using their transers, Gio is able to return home safely, not a bit without a few bruises and injuries. A few weeks later, everyone is here at Gio's house after he gets out the hospital or house or I don't know, the game never says. Now that there's no more danger that looms over them, Gio and his friends walk off to school, and therefore ending Megaman Starforce. I like Starforce a lot. It's a story on how a boy who has lost his father in an incident gains new powers and missed dealing with his depression and overcomes it with people who have similar experiences with him, people who have encouraged him, and people who help and believe in him, and how he shares that with others. Starforce 1's story is one of the many reasons it stands out, as rather than being about, 11-year-old and his way too fictional Pokemon Mini with his overpriced Tamagotchi fighting Saturday morning cartoon villains and getting into stupid situations, to a story that shows change in a person and how they see the world while still having some Battle Network tomfoolery, but way better than what we like to call Battle Network 4. Another reason why I like Starforce so much is because of that new fresh take on the Battle Network formula. It still has the grids and the classic Battle Network feel while still having different or new things like 3D, lock on, or you only being in the back row giving more incentive to dodge or block enemy attacks. The Battle Network energy is still there while having its own unique thing. Now, while I still feel like there's a lot of good stuff with Starforce, that doesn't mean that it has its issues. Now, there are problems like the Libra Scale difficulty balancing, the Gemini Spark dungeon, Andromeda, but I feel like what Starforce DX has to work on the most is making all the forms in the game feel useful, because 99% of the time I'm definitely picking Ice Pegasus form because it instantly locks on, while the only time I used the other forms was purely to test them out or switch it up a bit. The other forms are pretty much outclassed by Ice Pegasus' abilities. I can see some use for Fire Leo, like if you're a person that has a risky playstyle, they might use Fire Leo for that extra damage. Or needing to heal up after taking some damage from the enemy, that's for Green Dragon. So I can see that, but both of these are pretty situational, and by the time you at least get Fire Leo, you already have a bunch of battle cards that you can use to easily dish out damage on enemies and bosses, to the point where all you need is a form that auto-locks onto your opponent and freezes them in place for you to use your overpowered standard weapon to annihilate it. Then again, while writing the script, I found out actually that the different version forms that were in the base game were technically the exact same as they were with their other forms. And according to the patch notes for EX, it actually changes up the forms and what they do. So basically, I would have had to say less about the forms because technically they're all just one single form except different design and different element. Without the extra abilities of the DX patch, they just would have been boring and bland. I highly recommend that you play Starforce with the DX patch so you can get a better experience. But if you're that type of person that likes playing the original as the developers made it, then that's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, Megaman Starforce DX is a pretty fun game with a patch that makes said game, something before that was probably still good but having a lot of flaws, into a game that has variety and many other things that were added that I still haven't brought up in this video that you can see for yourself while playing the game. Now with that all said, I will also be checking out Starforce 2 and 3, although note that I still have no idea what the story of those two games are, other than 2 having some guy with Shadow the Hedgehog vibes, but from what I've heard from people, 2 is considered the worst in the series. I guess it was time to subject myself to more torture. But there will be other videos like Mario Party or Mario Kart World with my friends that will also be along the way. With that, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, the usual. Especially subscribing, definitely that one. Until then, I'll see you next time.